Hello again, Gooners! This is the Loose Cannon, episode 36. No squad number for that, because the squad is paper thin. We've been there, I'm not going to go there again, but I'll tell you what, that's the agenda for today. Quick sneak preview. I hope you quick on the uptake. I'll tell you what, I'm doing this for a second time. You know why? Because I did the quiz question at the beginning, and then I forgot to give you the answer, which was kind of rude and not very kind. So I'm going to give you the quiz question right now. And we all know Arsene Wenger is the longest serving Arsenal manager of all time. But do you know the other 9 in the top 10? I will give you a purple point if indeed you can guess who is in second place. Not that easy because it's from pre-war days. Well, goes into post-war days, but only slightly. That's a little clue for you. And in second place would be a manager that didn't perhaps receive the accolades he deserved for winning the double back in 1971. So another little clue for you. And number 3 in the chart is, or in the list, should I say, because this comes from a book of lists which I've featured in the last episode. Number 3 is a legendary manager. There's a statue of him, quite deservedly, at the Emirates Stadium. So there you go. That's the quiz question. I'm going to give you the answer later on. I mustn't forget this time. And talking of purple points, obviously I said I'll give you purple points. Not quite sure what they're worth. Don't try and spend them in the supermarket or anything. It won't get you anywhere at all. Probably even worse than what are those points they give away now. Avios points, is it? For air miles. Well, moving on. Well, I don't know which one to move on to now. Should I stay on purple? Well, purple is the colour we face in our first pre-season game of the season at St Mary's Stadium, kicking off, I believe, at 6:45 in the evening. It's only a half a game against Anderlecht. To give them their full name, Royal Sporting Club Anderlecht. And of course, it's been mentioned that with our new purple away kit, it gives us a regal flavour for the Diamond Jubilee year. So, well, that's the spin as far as merchandising is concerned. After playing against Anderlecht, we then face Southampton in the Marcus Lieber Memorial Cup, I'll have you know. So that's what's going on at the weekend. If you can make it down to Southampton, good luck to you. I hope I can. If I do, I'll be tweeting like crazy, and if I don't, I'll probably stay reasonably quiet this weekend. I'll tell you what hasn't been quiet is the air mileage our team has been clocking up, or will be about to clock up this pre-season. Obviously, a trip down to Southampton isn't exactly a long trip, but I'll tell you, those Far Eastern trips are really gonna affect our team next season. It's surprising, really, that Arsene Wenger has agreed to let the team go on these long-haul trips, but I think his hand's been forced pretty much, which again is interesting because it shows you how much or how little power Arsene Wenger has got at the club. So he's getting forced into making decisions he doesn't want to. So perhaps sometimes we should be a little bit less critical of him than we have been. Obviously, I've been one of his biggest critics at times, but I wanna temper that with fairness and have to say that that Arsene Wenger really is doing a difficult job under difficult circumstances. So looking at air miles for the pre-season, we would finish in 3rd place when it comes to air miles, and Manchester United clocking up more miles than us. They've obviously been called Merchandise United for a reason. 23,000 air miles they're clocking up. Everton slightly more miles than us, 17,000 plus miles. We're also on 17,000 plus miles. Manchester City behind us on 14,000 and Stoke on 13,000. Well, talking of Stoke, Ryan Shawcross wants to play for Wales, but it's all up to Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey is going to be asked by the new Wales boss, Chris Coleman, whether or not he objects to playing alongside Ryan Shawcross. If I were Aaron, I'm not too sure what I would say on that. But obviously, if they play in training together, it gives Aaron a chance to hit back at Ryan. I don't expect he'll do that because Aaron Ramsey, or Rambo as we like to call him, a very nice guy, not particularly a tough tackler, and I know who I'd fancy if it came to pushing and shoving and fisticuffs. Ryan Shawcross looks quite a tough guy, really, and but obviously I wasn't impressed with that tackle and I just simply can't forgive him for that tackle on Aaron Ramsey. Not yet. I mean, maybe I need another century to get over that. Well, you know, then anyway, I mentioned the teams that are doing a lot of air miles a little while ago. The ones that are not doing air miles, you don't expect them to do that well next season. Or I certainly don't. Fulham, West Brom, and Southampton are doing the least air miles. They're only doing about 1,000 worth of air miles, and so they're not going to be particularly jet lagged when the season starts. And Wigan and Norwich also down there with about 2,000. So it'll be interesting to see how the season develops. We'll see if the more jet lagged teams do the worst. I suspect it's not really going to have a huge effect on overall positions, but I think it will have. I mean, for instance, if we're taking on a team, say like Spurs, for instance, who've clocked up less air miles, I think it will go in their favour, the fact that we've clocked up more. But then again, it's all about personnel really, and who actually goes on these trips, and really most of all, it's about ability. Let's never forget that. Well, talking of ability, who are we going to bring in? Well, there's been talk we're going to bring in Robert Lewandowski from Borussia Dortmund. Can't see that happening. Dortmund kind of doing well, winning trophies. So why is he going to want to leave Dortmund to join us when we're only talking about breaking a barren spell of trophyless seasons? Can't see that happening. I'd love to see it happen. Don't think it will. Another player who could be moving from Germany to our very good selves is Thomas Muller. There's talk he could join from Bayern Munich. It's very much at the talking stage right now. Can't see it happening. He may well join Manchester United, or perhaps he'll just stay put. He's more likely to move than Lewandowski, though, because he is unsettled at Bayern Munich, it appears. A player who's also been linked with us, who's on the move, is Tongo Doumbia. He's going to be moving from Rennes, but not to Arsenal. It looks like West Bromwich Albion will be signing the Mali international. Another player who's been long linked with us is Clint Dempsey of Fulham. There's talk he's going to move to Liverpool for £9 million. Obviously, £9 million is probably about £5 million more than we would be prepared to spend on a player of his age. Good a player as he is, I wouldn't want to spend £9 million hard-earned spondulacs on him. Barini, also another potential signing for Liverpool. He played at Swansea last season. He's joining from Roma, it seems. So those two signings may significantly strengthen Liverpool, but will it strengthen them enough to really push us for a Champions League place? I suggest not. Carlos Tevez, meanwhile, could be on the way to Milan, and Milan ready to offload Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva to Paris Saint-Germain for £49 million, we're hearing. Well, who's we? Okay, just I'm hearing that for now. Until I increase the size of my team, I will have to say I. But it's the royal we, right? It's Diamond Jubilee year. If we're going to wear purple, I can say we every now and then. Please forgive me for that. Hugo Rodallega on the way to Fulham, or I think that deal's done and dusted. Actually, he's left Wigan to join them. And a few other deals involving a possible Europa League contender for next season, Tottenham Hotspur. Modric on the way to Real Madrid for 44.4 million euros. João Moutinho is not joining Spurs despite stories you may have heard to the contrary. And Emmanuel Adebayor set to sign on the dotted line. It looks like all the terms and conditions and transfer fee has been agreed between Manchester City and Spurs. And we know what Adebayor is like. He has one good season and then he falls flat on his face. So we're all hoping he falls flat on his face next season. So before I go, the answer to the quiz question. Sorry about my arm keep flailing around and in front of the screen and kind of looking like a pigeon that's kind of interrupting play. The longest managerial reigns aside from Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger, number 1, with the most time at the helm. Number 2, George Allison, 1934 to 1947, 12 years, 11 months. Number 2, I gave you a clue for this, Bertie Mee. He was at the helm for 9 years and 11 months between 1966 and May 1976. Number 3, Herbert Chapman, the legend that always will be, 1925 to 1934, 8 years, 7 months. Right after him, Tom Whittaker, 1947 to 1956. Then, number 5, my favourite manager of all time, George Graham, 1986 to 1995. Number 6, Terry Neill, another favourite of mine, 1976 to 1983, 7 years, 5 months for him. George Morrell, 1908 to 1915. He comes in at number 7, don't know an awful lot about him. And Who's after that? Leslie Knighton, 1919 to 1925. Also don't know a lot about him. And Harry Bradshaw is the other one of the nine other managers following Arsene Wenger in terms of their longest managerial reigns at Arsenal. Bradshaw, 1899 to 1904. So a bit of Victorian history for you there. That's all for this particular episode of The Loose Cannon. Don't forget to put your comments below. Keep them clean. Keep them polite if possible. Or just, well, put anything you like, really. I'll delete it if I don't like it, I suppose. I can live with it. Or can I? I'm not too sure. Anyway, that's all for me this time. I hope to see you again in the very near future. Until then, up the good.